Hey guys, my name is Em and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today's video because it is going to be a 24-hour readathon. I adore 24-hour readathons. You know me, you know I love them. And I'm so excited for this one. I've actually recently done one of these readathons, which I will link the vlog for down in the description box, because I ended up reading 1200 pages. But everybody seemed to love that video and I really loved filming it. So here we are with another 24-hour readathon. And of course, what is a readathon if you don't do it with your best friends? So I am doing this readathon with Sophia from Tiny Own Universe, Lucy from Library of Lucy, Bisma from Hates Bisma, and Sarah from Saz Books. We are doing the timer method once again, which I won't go too much into, but if you have seen my last video, I did the timer method, basically where I set a timer for 24 hours and I pause the timer like when I'm going to bed or if I'm taking like a big break from reading so that I don't miss out on reading time, and then continue it on so that I'm actually getting as close to 24 hours of solid reading as possible. I'm going to be starting this readathon at midday tomorrow. Enough of the introductions, let's get into the TBR. It's extremely ambitious, guys. Like, honestly, I don't know who I think I am with this TBR, but we're gonna go with it. Obviously, I'm not expecting to read all of it because that would be an interesting but chaotic time, but I am hoping to get through a lot of these. So without further ado, let's get into the TBR. Okay, so in my last vlog, you may have seen that I read the first two books in the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy and I loved them. They were the perfect books for a 24-hour readathon. I kind of wanted to recreate that a little bit without rereading them because I did only finish the third one like 2 days ago. I think it's a bit soon for a reread. So the main kind of priority books are The Inheritance Games and The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This series has been on my radar for a very long time and I've kind of heard them being compared to Knives Out, which is a movie that I absolutely loved, and then also kind of like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, like just like the mystery YA kind of thriller aspect. Particularly this one, I would be really happy if I managed to start and finish this book. If I do get onto this one, amazing, but I'm not going to pressure myself too much because this is a fun time, okay? I am so excited to read this. It isn't too long and the chapters are like 1 to 2 pages each, which is just like incredible. So I feel like I'm going to fly through this book. So basically what this book is about, we have our main character Avery who gets this like letter or something saying that she has inherited billions from this random old man that she's never met. She is struggling for money, so she decides, you know what, fuck it, let's just see where this goes. So she ends up going to this house and I think there's like other people that she's trying to like contend with to win the money or something like that. Like, I know there's like games and I'm really not sure what to expect out of it. That could be completely wrong, but that gives the best vibes and I can't wait to see what happens. So I have the first two. The third one comes out in September, so hopefully there's not too much of a cliffhanger, but honestly I feel like there will be, so I'm setting myself up for failure. But yeah, I'm really excited to read these. Then we have a book that I am slightly terrified to read, but I feel like if there's a time to read it, it's during a chaotic 24-hour readathon. And that book is Verity by Colleen Hoover. Of course, ignore the big sticker on here, I will take that off. But as you know, Colleen Hoover is one of my favorite authors. I've loved literally every single book that she's written and it is my goal of this year to read through all of her books. This one is top of that list for some reason. I honestly don't really know what this book is about and I kind of want to keep it that way. All I know is that it is absolutely terrifying and I don't know if I want that. Next up we have Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I am honestly not sure if I'm going to be reading this book or not during this readathon. It is a reread, which is why it's not like so much of a priority for me, but I am listening to the audiobook, so if I need to do some things that require audiobook listening, this is the one I'm going to go for. And then finally on this TBR we have a book that I had not expected to read, but I found an e-arc of it on my Kindle last night, and that book is Mr. Wrong Number by Lynn Painter, and this is like a fun rom-com. Basically this follows our main girl Olive, whose apartment has just burned down. Actually, she burnt down her apartment, and not just her apartment, the whole complex. She burned down the whole apartment complex. If that doesn't just like describe the chaos that is in this book, I don't know what will. So she is now living with her brother for a month because of this, but of course her brother has the asshole roommate who is just like this broody grump, kind of rich, and he is just like not her biggest fan. She's not his biggest fan because she overheard something that he said about her when they were teenagers, so they just don't get along. Okay, they just don't get along. But she is living with them, and then one night she is kind of like wallowing in her sorrows, listening to Adele on Alexa, which is just honestly iconic. And she gets this text from this random number that says, "What are you wearing?" And in her chaotic mood, she decides, let's respond really hilariously. And then they keep like texting back and forth. We don't know who he is. I mean, I know who he is because I've gotten to that part of the book, but we don't know who he is. I'm 35% of the way through. I started it last night and I read 30% like non-stop. So yeah, these are the books on the TBR. I'm obviously not going to get through all of these books because there are 6 books here, and I feel like that may just be a bit too much considering they're all full-length books. But yeah, I am really excited to see how many of these books I will get through. I'm going to stop talking right now because this has been an incredibly long intro. I will get back to you when the readathon begins. Happy reading, besties. Besties, happy readathon. It is now 4 p.m. on Saturday. I started the readathon at midday today, so just 4 hours ago, and I want to give you a little reading update. The book that I decided to start with was The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, because this was the book that I was going to read from start to finish, and I felt like it made the most sense to start it now. And I've actually been listening to the audiobook. I've read to page 92. It is really enjoyable so far. It's fun. It definitely does have that YA vibe, which is fine because it is a YA book. I won't say that I'm loving it, and I kind of still don't know what this book is going to be about, but basically so far our main character Avery has arrived at Hawthorne Manor. I actually don't even know if it's called Hawthorne Manor. I just called it Hawthorne Manor. I don't know if it is. Anyways, she arrives at the Hawthorne house, estate, whatever, and she inherits everything from this old man, and now she has to live in this house for a year with all of his family, who are obviously quite mad because a stranger is just after inheriting his billions and all of his estate and everything, and they didn't really get anything. So yeah, it's very interesting so far, and right now she thinks that this is like not really happening, so she's living it up. She's like, yeah, let's take the private jet, let's do this, let's do that, and it's really fun. And she's just after starting at the new like prep school, so it is going to have like a dark academia rich school vibe as well. I'm 100% team Jameson at the minute. I don't know who wouldn't be at this stage, but yeah, I think I'm going to relocate to the living room and I'm going to continue reading this for as much as I can. Guys, this is so wholesome. My mom went to work and she left like a little bed on our couch for me to read. I've got my book there and I've got my ASMR room on. I went with like this old manor thing because, you know, inheritance games, it makes sense. So yeah, let's get cozy. This is so sweet. Oh my god. It is now 5 p.m. and I am on chapter 35 of the Inheritance Games, which is page 146. I'm flying through it, but I am kind of listening to the audiobook. It's not a very addictive writing style. The chapters are really short, which does keep you kind of motivated. I am interested at the moment in how this is going. Everything is just kind of like setting itself up to become really exciting. The descriptions of everything in here are amazing, and it's giving me very much like Princess Diary vibes in the weirdest way, but like she's like getting makeovers and getting like a whole new wardrobe and things like that, and I just love reading about those descriptions. Like, I don't know why. But also there's some people like warning her off of the Hawthorne brothers, because there's 4 Hawthorne brothers, but like the 2 main brothers are Jameson and Grayson. Who the hell names characters that similar to each other? Because honestly, like Grayson and Jameson, they sound the exact same. Like they're the same person. You can't convince me otherwise. Like they are the same person, same name, everything. But so yeah, everybody's like warning them off of the Hawthorne brothers and being like, well, we all know what happened to the last girl that was here. She's dead. And I'm just sitting here like, oh, what happened to the last girl? And we're kind of starting to get into like riddles and games and stuff, and it is quite fun, I will say. So let's keep reading. Okay besties, I have now reached chapter 40, which is page 163. but I'm like really sleepy. I don't know why. I'm just so tired. Maybe this isn't the type of book that you can read in one sitting, but I'm really sleepy. So I'm either going to swap books or maybe just take a break and like watch a booktube video or something, because I'm falling asleep and like it's 5 o'clock. Why am I so tired? But yeah, things are being revealed now. I'm really interested in what's happening. It's not gripping me like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder gripped me. This lighting is not my friend. But anyways, it is 6 o'clock and I've been listening to the audiobook for a little while, and I'm actually just about to go on some sprints with Soph right now, and then the other girls will probably be joining later. I got to chapter 43, which is page 180. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit bored. I'm not really loving it that much. Like, it's fun. I don't think it's the type of book that you can just be so hooked by that you read it in one sitting. Like, it is possible to probably read it in one go because it is short and the chapters are short and it's like quick and everything. But I'm kind of just like, let's get into the action. You know, we're 200 pages in.
With her bear and you with your camera and me with this audio.
Hi. It is now 10 p.m. and I'm on sprints with Soph and Bisma. We've been on sprints for hours. We chatted for ages, but now we're reading. I have just gotten to page 288 of the Inheritance Games, which means I have like roughly 80 pages left, I think, which is really not that much. My thoughts are kind of like mixed. I don't know. Like, it is really good, and I actually would say that I prefer physically reading it than the audiobook, which I've been physically reading it since like the halfway point. It's nothing mind-blowing. It's not gonna like be a new favorite or anything, but it is enjoyable. It is fast-paced, it is twisty. I'll give you my full thoughts once I finish the book, because obviously the ending will determine how I really feel about the book. I'm kind of getting tired again because it is 10 p.m. The sprints woke me up to start because I was like, okay, this is fresh motivation. But I am getting a bit sleepy now, so my goal is to just finish this and then I might move on to Mr. Wrong Number because it's a rom-com. It's less brain power to read a rom-com. Also, I am hydrating. I just filled up my bottle. Also, this is absolutely the prettiest bottle I've ever seen. I love it so much. I'm still in like my cozy sofa corner, so yeah, I'm just gonna get back to reading. Guys, I'm kind of considering like camping out in my living room tonight. Like, it's kind of cozy, it's kind of the vibe. I kind of want to camp out here, maybe. I don't know. I used to do that all the time, but now I'd have a reason. We'll see. Guys, I am so tired. It's not even funny, but we must not sleep. We must persevere. I've got 17 hours 29 minutes left in the readathon. I would have kind of liked to be a bit further along with my reading by this time, but you know what? We're thriving, we're girl bossing. It's a fun time. Okay, it is now 11 o'clock at night and I have just finished The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I didn't breathe while reading this book. Like, I literally started it, sat, and then finished it. Like, it took me a good few hours, but I didn't do anything else in between. I did really like the twists at the end. Honestly, I think this is maybe like a 4-star. It was looking at being like a 3-star throughout the whole book because I was like, it's good, but it's not amazing. But I think I was subconsciously comparing this to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder because I kind of class the two series as the same in my head because they're two YA mystery thrillers that I had on my TBR and they're not the same. Hi baby! Someone commented on my last video saying that they wish they had somebody that looked at them the way I look at Misty. And honestly, I stand by that. Everybody should have that. Okay, the one thing that I didn't love about this book was that there wasn't like as many games as I was expecting. I was expecting this girl was going to move into this mansion that had like so many games and secret things and like competitions and everything like that, which that's what I was expecting going into this book. That's not what happened. Oh my god. that's not what this was. There was like a mystery to it, obviously, but there were a few times throughout the book where I was kind of like, what are we even trying to solve here? Like, what mystery are we racing to solve? I do feel like it was kind of lost a few times, like what was actually going on and what we were trying to solve. I felt like then the ending of it was just like a little bit rushed. That's just kind of where my thoughts are at the moment. I was expecting we were going to be given riddles. Do you know how cute that was? But yeah, I was kind of expecting to be given riddles and for us to be trying to like solve the riddles as the book progressed and like trying to solve the mystery alongside the characters, and that was not the case. And also I would have rathered a lot of like seeing how badass the characters were and how badass Avery was. She has the potential, but we didn't get to see it shine through. We didn't get to... Hi! We didn't get to see her intelligence all that much. And we love an intelligent woman, don't we? You're an intelligent woman. Do you know, Misty, that you have 4,000 people watching you and they love you? Look at the little paw! Is this or is this not the most chaotic update? That's all I'm going to say about the Inheritance Games. 4 stars, solid read. I think right now I'm going to start reading Mr. Wrong Number. This may be the last talking update of the night. I have about 16 hours left in the readathon. Okay, that is all I have to say for right now. Signing off from your 2 favorite redheads. It is now 12:20 at night, and should I be sleeping? Yes, I should. But you know what I'm doing instead? I am reading a rom-com because this is a readathon and you go all out for readathons, okay? And to top it all off, I have actually made myself a coffee because I'm starting to get a bit sleepy, but I am now 55% of the way through Mr. Wrong Number, and the way that I am smiling at my Kindle while I'm reading this book, like, it's criminal how much I'm smiling because they are so adorable. It's everything. I'm loving it so much. I'm definitely getting 5-star vibes from it. Of course I would love to finish it before going to bed, but I don't know if that's on the cards, so I would like to get to 75% of the way through, which is like another 20%, and then maybe I'll go to bed and then finish it in the morning because it will not take me that long to read at all. But I shall keep you updated. I'm having the best time with this readathon and I'm still on sprints with Soph. Hello besties, it is 1:20 in the morning. We're thriving right now. This is us thriving. Sophia has gone to bed and I am still here wilding it up. So I'm now on 73% of the way through Mr. Wrong Number and I'm loving it so much. I did say that my stopping point was 75%, but I kind of don't want to stop. But also maybe I should stop because I think I'm getting a bit sleep deprived, because for this whole book there's been 2 POVs, okay? Olivia and the guy. But for some reason when I started this chapter I thought it was from the POV of her brother. No reason why I should think that. I'm thinking that this is from the POV of her brother, and then the brother says, I never noticed how like attractive she was and how like charming she is and how much I like find her attractive. And I'm like, did this just take a Cassandra Clare turn? Like, what's happening? And then I realized, no Emma, it is not from the point of view of her brother. It is still from the point of view of the love interest, obviously. Okay, here's why I love reading romance books, okay? First of all, they're written by women. I mean, not all romance books, but the ones that I read. It's just perfectly crafted, but like the guys in here, they're top tier. Like the way that Colleen is like remembering really tiny details and just showing her that he likes her in the sweetest ways. But there's so many cute moments in here. I'm literally smiling at my screen so much. I'm loving this book. I can't believe I've literally just sat and like almost read 2 full books. Ignore this lighting. It is 2:10 in the morning. I am sleep deprived, but I have just finished Mr. Wrong Number. Oh my god, I'm not going to talk about my thoughts right now because I physically cannot form sentences, but 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it. I cannot wait to talk about it in the morning with you. I'm going to bed right now and I will continue the readathon in the morning. I have paused my timer for the night. I have 14 hours 3 minutes left on the timer, which I will continue tomorrow. But I am so proud of myself. I literally read the entirety of the Inheritance Games and then basically the entirety of Mr. Wrong Number in 10 hours. Hello besties, happy Sunday. It is currently 11 in the morning. I actually got up at 9 this morning, which is kind kind of crazy considering that I went to bed at 3. I don't know how I'm awake. I don't know how I'm functioning right now. Like, I really don't. But yeah, I woke up at 9, but my camera was completely dead. That's how much I filmed yesterday. So here we are, a few hours later. First of all, let's talk about the book that I finished last night, which was Mr. Wrong Number by Lynn Painter. The paperback copy of this book is now top of my wish list. I need this paperback in my life. I need to highlight, I need to annotate, I need to tab it. I just need to like reread it again. I loved it so much. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. For me, I know a book is good when I can sit down for multiple hours and read consecutively and like not feel like I'm after sitting down for hours and reading. And that's what happened last night, because I genuinely read like the whole thing last night in one sitting. So glad that I did. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. There was one thing in the book that I just wasn't a complete fan of, and that was like the conflict at the end, or like the third act breakup as it's known in the romance world. I think that that kind of conflict was a bit weird because it wasn't even like a reasonable conflict. I was just kind of like, just have a conversation. And I did feel like it was a little bit like dragged out as well. It went on quite a while, their conflict. But that being said, the only reason I didn't like that is because I wanted them to be together. So yeah, that is my reading update on that. I definitely recommend that you read this book. I think it was so fun. It was so cute. I have got 13 hours 42 minutes left on this 24-hour readathon timer. I read 722 pages in 10 hours. What the hell came over me? I literally stayed on sprints with Soph until like, I think it was like 1:30, and she read the entirety of Kiss the Sky and I was reading Mr. Wrong Number, so we were just thriving. Honestly, I don't know what got into us, but we were just like reading machines. It was great. So this morning I got up and I was like, okay, what am I going to read today? Because I had finished my 2 current reads, so I had narrowed it down to 2 choices, the first one being Verity by Colleen Hoover, and then the second being The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. These 2 books are ones that I do really want to read, possibly both in this readathon, but I was just kind of like, okay, which do I start with? And I have ultimately decided to start with Verity for 2 reasons. The first reason being, this is literally just over 300 pages, whereas this is 350. Not a huge difference, but this is shorter. And the second reason being, everybody says that this book is fucking terrifying, and I feel like it's a better idea to read this in the daytime. So I started this book this morning and I really didn't get that much read because my eyes were so exhausted. Like, they were so sore, I couldn't even focus. So I took a break, I watched some booktube, I had a coffee, I had my breakfast, things like that. But now I'm back, I'm ready to read again, and I've made it to chapter 3, which is page 34. So far it's not creepy, because I feel like the first half is not going to be scary. It's the second half that's going to creep me out, but it is suspicious. Everything about this is suspicious. Everything about this is weird. I have a feeling that this is just going to like completely blow my mind. Basically, the premise of this book is our main girl Lowen is a writer, and she gets this opportunity to finish a series for this like famous writer Verity, because Verity has been in a car accident and she's not able to continue writing her books. So yeah, Lowen gets this opportunity to finish her books, which is a huge thing, and she's offered like $500,000 to do this, which, first of all, babe, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably fucking is. Just run, okay? Just run, just leave, just walk out the door. So I'm kind of at the stage where she's about to make the deal with Verity's husband. They've had a weird time because Verity, his wife, she's just after being in a car accident, and 5 months prior they lost both of their daughters. I'm sorry, but that seems like a little bit more than misfortune, and that is kind of like a stay the fuck away from this family type of misfortune. But can we just talk about how Colleen Hoover starts her books and her chapters? So the first line is, I hear the crack of his skull before the spattering of blood reaches me. That's nice. That's a cute little way to start the book. She sure knows how to make a dramatic entrance, you know, like it does hook you. Let me read you the first sentence of chapter 3. I don't know what the relevance of this sentence is, but once again, she really knows how to like hook you and kind of like make you want to read this chapter. Like, what the fuck? So the first sentence is, I had a boyfriend in my early 20s named Amos who liked being choked. That's nice. How precious. I don't really know what relevance that has to the book, but you know what? I trust you, Colleen. But yeah, this is the book that I'm gonna read. Okay guys, it is now 1 p.m. I have not read another page because I just got sidetracked, but I got the biggest surprise because my nana dropped out a McDonald's to me, and that was such a surprise. I was not expecting it. So I'm gonna have my McDonald's and I am going to possibly watch a booktube video just to kind of get myself remotivated, and then I will get back to reading, hopefully. I still haven't resumed my timer, so I'm not missing out on any reading time, but I'm just taking a well-needed break because after reading 720 pages in a day, you'd be shocked at how tired your eyes get. Okay, besties, it is now almost 2 and I've just started reading again. I'm on page 46. Lowen has just arrived at the Crawfords' home and already I'm fucking creeped out because she just pulled up at the house and she's in her car and she looks to the side and there's a child just standing outside her car window and they're just like staring. Children can be the creepiest fucking things, especially in books. It's like, oh my god, this is terrifying. Safe to say I am unnerved and I'm really interested to see if I predict the plot twist. I was texting Lucy, who just finished this book like last week. She's like, you will not guess the plot twist. So I'm gonna text her all my theories. Obviously I'm not gonna say what my theories are on here, but I will tell you if I guessed it or if I didn't. But right now I have no idea what's gonna happen because everybody's suspicious. Children are creepy. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Not the teeth marks in the headboard. What are you doing? Oh my god. Okay, it is now 2:45 and I'm on page 120 of Verity. This is an extremely fast read because you genuinely cannot put it down. But oh my god, I think I just read the most messed up chapter that I've ever read in my life. Like this is the most fucked up thing that I've ever read and I genuinely don't even think that like this is the worst of it. So we kind of have like 2 timelines in this book. We have like present day with Lowen planning to write Verity's books and like she's turned up at the house to get some information and read like the notes that Verity had left and like how she wants to finish off the series. But then we also have a manuscript of Verity's autobiography that Lowen finds in her office and she's reading this and genuinely the manuscript is the most fucked up thing I've ever read. I don't even know how to describe it. Like it is so messed up. I can't even. And yeah, this is actually kind of a little bit disturbing. Verity is like in the house but like she's not aware. Like everybody's saying like her brain capacity is that of a newborn, so she's just like lying in a hospital bed in their house. But then Lowen sees the child wave to her and like then sees the curtain blowing. If I'm not fucking scared, I just don't know what the fuck I'm reading and I can't stop reading. But I actually have to go in like maybe 20 minutes or something because I have to go collect my mom from work. But nonetheless, I will hopefully be finishing this book today. I'm just gonna keep reading until I have to go because I don't want to stop reading, but also like I do, but I don't. I want to know more about the manuscript. Like I'm so interested to read about that because what the fuck? Okay, besties, it is now 3 o'clock and I'm putting down the book for now because I have to go in a few minutes. I made it to chapter 10, which is page 142. I am bending down the corner of the book, don't sue me. This is fucked up. I don't know what to expect. Like I really don't know what to expect. Every piece of information that we're getting is leading to one particular person being a bit cuckoo, but obviously the plot twist isn't going to be that simple. So yeah, I'm very scared to see how this is going to end. So I'm also going to pause my timer because I know I'm not going to be able to read for at least 2 hours, I think. Also, I might be doing some live reading sprints later on So's channel. We shall see. I have 12 hours 22 minutes left in this readathon. So I'm just halfway through the readathon. Okay, besties, it is now 10 p.m. and I have now finished Verity. I honestly can't believe that I've just finished this book. I can't believe that I read it so quickly too. Like I know I took a few breaks in between, but I stopped my timer just as I finished it and I finished it about an hour ago, but I was on live sprints and I have 9 hours 47 minutes left, so I have like 10 hours left. This book literally took me 4 hours to read. 4 hours to read this 315 page book. I don't know how I did it, but I'm so glad that I did. This was a 5 out of 5 star. It was incredible. It was amazing. It was mind-blowing. The twists, they just kept on coming up until the end, and even including the end. I just kept thinking like, what the actual fuck is going on? Like, how is this happening? It just kept getting progressively more disturbing as it went on, and I understand now why there's 2 teams. I'm team letter. Honestly, I feel like I thought all the way through I was going to be team manuscript because I was like, yeah, obviously. But the letter really threw me, guys. I'm team letter. It adds up more in my head, which makes it so much worse and more disturbing, but in a different way. If you see my Goodreads review for this, it basically says Miss Colleen really put her whole Colossi into it, and you know what? I stand by that. I think that she did put her whole colossy into it. This was an absolute masterpiece. Like, I genuinely think that this is the best Colleen Hoover book that I've ever read. I don't think anything will ever top it. I don't know what to do with myself now that I finished it. Needless to say, 5 out of 5 stars. I just can't process the things that I read in this book. I was expecting a different twist, and I kind of like prepared myself for that twist almost. It's not scary in the way that I was expecting. It's disturbing in the fact of the content that I'm reading about nearly makes you want to throw up. You're like, oh my god, I can't believe that this happened. You're just kind of like in shock over what you're reading, but it's not scary in the terms of like, I can't go to sleep. It keeps you going because you're reading the manuscript and then you're reading present day and you're wondering how they're going to come together. This was so stressful, but in the best way possible. Like, I loved it so much. Yeah, I really think that this is like a whole new level for Colleen. It's 10:07. I should be exhausted. I literally just read this start to finish after getting like 4 hours sleep, but I feel like I have another book in me, guys. Like, I'm not even joking. I feel like I have another book in me. I don't know if that's slightly being overambitious, but I've got the girls on sprints. So as I said on my timer, I have 9 hours 47 minutes, which is quite a lot of time. Obviously, I'm not going to be reading right now for 10 hours straight because like I don't think my eyes would support that decision. However, I will read as much as I can before I go to bed and then continue the rest tomorrow. So sticking to the original TBR, the book that I could pick up is the Hawthorne Legacy. I could pick this one up. The reason that I'm so scared to read this book is because some people do love it and some people say it's like so much better than the first one, but some people say that this is a filler book for book 3, and I don't know how I feel about that, because I feel like if I was completely obsessed with the first one, I could put up with this being a filler book. However, I was not completely obsessed with the first one, so I don't know if I should pick this up. But then I'm not going to read a whole ass book tonight, so maybe I should just start this, see how it's going, and then I don't know what I'm going to read, but right now I'm just going to get into my pajamas, take off my makeup, things like that. This has been such a fun vlog so far. I hope you're enjoying this chaos. Hope you're loving it.